actress whose talent and originality widened the world for all of us. And the icon, Diane Keaton.
During the 98th Academy Awards, actress Rachel McAdams walked onto the stage to honor one of Hollywood's most respected stars, Diane Keaton. It was meant to be a tribute, a moment of remembrance, something the Oscars audience has seen many times before. But this time, something felt different. Rachel began speaking, and almost immediately, people inside the theater noticed a change in her voice. She slowed down. She paused. And it suddenly became clear that this tribute was affecting her more deeply than anyone expected. The audience grew quiet, not because they were told to, but because they sensed something real was happening. Why was Rachel McAdams struggling to continue? What memory was she trying to hold back while speaking about Diane Keaton? And how did this moment become one of the most emotional tributes of the entire ceremony? The tribute happened during the Oscars In Memoriam segment. This is the part of the ceremony dedicated to honoring members of the film industry who passed away during the previous year. And this year, one name carried enormous meaning: Diane Keaton. For decades, Diane Keaton had been one of Hollywood's most recognizable actresses. Many viewers knew her best for her Academy Award-winning role in Annie Hall. But her legacy was never limited to one film. She built a career defined by originality. Her style was unmistakable. Her humor was unique. Her personality stood out wherever she went. And that individuality is exactly what Rachel McAdams spoke about. At one point in her speech, Rachel told the audience something powerful. She said there wasn't an actress of her generation who hadn't been inspired by Diane Keaton. Not just impressed by her work, inspired by her individuality. But Diane Keaton wasn't defined by just one title. Rachel explained that she lived many roles in one life. She was an actress, an artist, an author. Yet according to Rachel, one role meant more to Diane than any award. Being a mother. Diane often spoke about how important her children were to her. And Rachel reminded the audience that behind the Hollywood legend was someone deeply devoted to family. The tribute existed because of a loss the industry had faced only months earlier. Diane Keaton passed away on October 11, 2025 at the age of 79. The cause was pneumonia. For Rachel McAdams, the loss felt personal. Years earlier, she had worked directly with Diane Keaton. The two actresses starred together in the 2005 film The Family Stone. At that time, Rachel was still building her career. Diane, however, was already a respected Hollywood icon. Working with someone at that level can feel intimidating for younger actors. But Rachel said Diane Keaton never made anyone feel that way. She created a warm environment on set. She encouraged younger actors. She treated everyone with kindness. Those moments stayed with Rachel long after filming ended. But there was one memory she never forgot. During the tribute, Rachel paused before sharing it. She looked down for a moment, then began telling a story from the set of The Family Stone. It wasn't about acting. It wasn't about awards. It was something much simpler. Rachel explained that Diane Keaton had a small habit during filming. Sometimes between scenes. Sometimes during quiet moments on set. Diane would begin singing a song. Not a performance. Just an old Girl Scout song she liked. Rachel then quoted the lyrics Diane used to sing. "Make new friends but keep the old. One is silver and the other is gold." As the audience listened, the atmosphere inside the theater changed. Rachel continued the next line. "A circle is round, it has no end. That's how long I'll be your friend." Suddenly the song felt different. It sounded less like lyrics, and more like a reflection of Diane Keaton's life. Friendships that lasted decades. Connections that continued long after films were finished. And in that moment, everyone understood why Rachel McAdams had struggled to speak earlier. Because the memory she shared wasn't just about a song. It was about the kind of person Diane Keaton had been. Just as Rachel reached the most emotional part of the tribute, she paused again. Her voice trembled. For a moment, it seemed like she might not be able to continue. The theater fell completely silent. This was no longer just a tribute speech. It had become a personal goodbye. Rachel took a breath and continued. She told the audience they were celebrating a life lived in silver and gold. A life filled with friendship, creativity, and influence. Then she delivered the line that became the most powerful moment of the tribute. She described Diane Keaton as a legend with no end. Applause filled the theater immediately. Many viewers later said the moment felt completely genuine. Not rehearsed, not scripted, just real emotion. Because Rachel McAdams didn't simply list achievements. She shared a memory. And sometimes, memories reveal more about a person than awards ever could. When Rachel first stepped onto the stage that night, it looked like a normal tribute. But by the time she finished speaking, it had become something far more meaningful. A reminder that sometimes the smallest moments leave the biggest impact. A simple song, a quiet memory from a film set, and a message about friendship that continues long after someone is gone. Because some lives are remembered in silver, some are remembered in gold, and some legends truly have no end.